Welcome back to the OPL, where we have just seen the Chiefs in pretty emphatic fashion take out Avant in Game 1, but Game 2 just around the corner. Before we get into it, guys, I've been asked to remind you, for some reason, that we have a Twitter competition running at the moment. It is Paint My Face with a Beard. I think it's called something else. Hashtag Bring Back the Beard. Hashtag I am OPL. You will win my favorite skin. It is Warring Kingdoms in Italy. There's been some interesting ones so far, gentlemen.
Yeah, the one that I haven't seen that I'm a little bit disappointed about is like just photoshopping like some sort of gerbil onto your face or something like that instead of an actual beard.
You really like this living creature residing on my face theme, don't you?
It was looking like it was having its own sort of ecosystem towards the end there. So like I don't know, I sort of liked it. The growing living being of a beard.
You know, I reckon would have been like super meta if someone had photoshopped your old face with a beard onto your new face.
Oh, whoa.
Wow, that's actually, yeah.
That's creative.
I'll give credit for that.
Why did you give that away, man?
What I am disappointed in is that Rusty has not been trolled in this, because part of this competition, I'm sure I can blame on my evil twin somewhere in the building. So if anyone out there wants to make me happy, which you probably don't at home, put a beard on Rusty and we'll get this competition really started. However, let's get back to the series. You know, we talked about Avant solo laners, how we wanted them to step up, get Malaz on a carry. That happened. What didn't happen is their support cast following suit. Want to open it up, talk about how we really expect Shelby, Blind Turker to be able to maybe elevate what they're doing in this game.
I mean, one big thing, and I kind of jokingly touched on it before with the build, but when you have a Lux and a Corki and a Jax top, do you really need to be building full AP Elise, or should you just be a support stun bot for your team? And I think the latter rings true.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, Spooks was already going to be offering more damage there anyway, regardless of whether you're going to be building AP. The fact that he builds more of Malmortius so incredibly easily and effectively at the same time, you can nullify that. So you're not building it for the 1v1 in the jungle. What are you building it for is the other question. So we'll see what, Chelby is going to do. But Chelby as a player, I'm not worried for Avant too much here, just because Chelby can bounce back relatively effectively. So we'll see whether he can do that coming into game number 2. And the other question mark is, of course, Blind Turkey. And I think that he was definitely living up to his name that game.
And this is what I want to hit on, because Radier and Ejim looked like they were on a mission this game. Ejim came out with an interview when they were going up against Direwolves and kind of called out the Raze and Kuden bottom lane, saying that they were okay but kind of a non-factor, and was very annoyed that they weren't able to dominate that lane. You saw in this game, they got a 2v2 kill. Radier and Derek and Bryce, when they're rolling, pretty scary lane. Is there a way that AV can just look to, can they go up head-to-head, or do they look to nullify in this game?
Look, I think it's a little bit matchup dependent, but at the same time, no, I don't think in a raw 2v2 they're going to win. I think a viable strategy would just be going full Denian and just try and nullify the lane. Lane swapping also a viable strategy. I don't know how practiced AV are in that, but look, their solo lanes are clearly capable. You know, Fiora was ahead in Global Gold. Ari was ahead in Global Gold from the jungler and the support taking all the towers, and they still managed to hold their own 1v1. This game, I would really like to see the support trio. AD's not a support, but I would really like to see them just take it easy, allow the solo lanes to carry, give them a bit more room, and then see where that takes them.
Yeah, and also, let's point out Rekt here in the mid lane. He didn't die in a losing game. Rusty said it exactly right here. He said, this is the best game that Rekt has ever lost.
And the thing was, he wasn't playing a passive Lux.
No.
He was nailing people with binds. The team fights that they were winning were off the back of his performance. Completely agree with you that he was stepping up when a very aggressive build. I mean, not going death cap against Hourglass against what is a Fiora, Graves, Callista in there. Goes with a death cap as his second item. Definitely stepped up to the plate in that regard. But I want to... Can you flip the map on the Chiefs? They kind of telegraphed their playstyle that they want to get behind Cheese and Swiper. They want to make sure the top lane is rolling. Is the viable strategy of upset the duo still a viable strategy against the Chiefs? Can you get in there and really wreak havoc down there if you're Shelby?
I think so. I think he could have. I think he got, I was serious. Like he got cheesed last game and he got pushed out early, which set him off pace, which is, cheese is a nice move. Nothing wrong with that. So I definitely think that Shelby can have an influence this game. I don't know. If I'm Spooks, I'm just hovering between top and mid. As long as they don't fall behind, their bot lane should do work.
Yeah, and one thing to be noted as well is the fact that Cheese looks like he's really stepped up this time as well. I mean, we're singing the praises of Rekt. He played a brilliant lane, but I think the mid lane in general was just much higher skill than what we've seen from both of these teams.
Well, let's talk about this for a little bit because Cheese finished the game with, I think, 9 or 10 kills, but he wasn't killing wrecked. He was doing something that your mid laner actually, Choo Choo's, does very, very well when he plays Assassins, and that is if people play passive against you, shove the lane, disappear, go find the jungler, try and get some kills.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for Shelby and Blind Turkey, they were on the receiving end of that for the most part. Look, you can put a little bit down to lane pressure. Maybe Rex could have put some pressure on, but look, they were just caught out of position so many times. Chiefs ran this pick comp, and it was almost like a moth drawn to flame, almost as if AV wanted to be picked.
Yeah, and this was sort of like the Swiffer tactic, like you said. I mean, Cheese managing to pick up that first kill that he managed to get onto the squishy Shelby there in the jungle, but he's just sitting in a brush, just doing the cheese thing. It just chills out, sits in the brush, and then kills you as soon as you come around because he's cleared out the wave. I mean, this is not what we normally expect from Cheese because he likes to hang around in the lane, do weird stuff. This was a little bit more proactive and more deliberate out of the player.
I mean, this was Cheese's best Swiffer cosplay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Grew
what
out
the team
that,
needs.
Mediterranean beard a little bit. Made some picks. Yeah.
No, I certainly agree. As soon as I saw him go towards that pick, I was like, maybe the Chiefs haven't tried to evolve to a new team. Maybe they've all just sat around Cheese for a week and been like,
force-fed him
you will be
cheese and olives.
Swiffer for us from now on. But guys, we'll see if it's going to continue because Chiefs versus Avant is going to be right here. So here's Pastry Time and Rusty. I'm still laughing.
So we are too. Don't you worry, as we'll see what Mediterranean Cheese can get up to in this particular game. So we are going to move ourselves into the second one. Have to agree, mid lane has played well. Definitely some bright spots there from Avant, but obvious things to fix here as well. I guess the question is, can they shape things up here for game 2?
There are lots of things that Avant can actively do to immediately remedy what went wrong for them in Game 1. First and foremost, if you're relying on your bottom lane in Destiny and Blind Turkey to be a big carry option for your team, lane swap. They didn't look to do that. They lost the 2v2 quite handily, and Raider ran around the rest of the map. If you can at least unlock yourself to get to a first buy, things could be different for you.
Certainly can, and we'll see what changes here in the draft as we have swap sides, and Ryze and Lulu have once again already been taken away. So not super surprising. The strong champs are going to get taken off as Chiefs do audible slightly. Lissandra actually their second ban this time.
Yeah, they take away the Lissandra. The question will be, do they go for the Zed again still with their bans, take things away from Rekt? The Lux was a standout performance from Avant, win or lose. And I feel like he doesn't need to really sway from that champion pick at all. It's just that the Chiefs worked around the Lux effectively. More so, they worked around what Shelby was doing on this Elise and Blind Turkey trying to consolidate vision. And most importantly, the Chiefs won through that vision.
Yep, and I think Blind Turkey on the Braum, it's not a bad champion for him, of course, but I think Kalista Thresh is just so good, and we know Turkey's a good Thresh player, so Alistar's going to get banned again. That could also pigeonhole Turkey into maybe worrying about what he gets to pick. They will ban Zed again away from Rex, so we'll respect their champion there. And Poppy is the last ban there for AV. So I think Poppy's been banned every game tonight, but all the teams clearly respecting the power of the champion. The only question is that with GP up, what do Chiefs want?
Corki.
Yeah.
I feel like with Corki up, they should be prioritizing this. Interestingly enough, that would mean that Cheese should be playing it, because I feel like there's no reason to take it for just Raider. His Kalista Thresh lane was just enough to win the entire game. Sure, he's an amazing Corki player. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just that if they can convincingly win the entire game as the two champions they were, they beat a Corki with it. Didn't really need to change it, so we'll see if they actually flex that.
Well, have to think that Cheers can probably play, but I guess we'll find out soon as Avant are going to look to see what they want to take for themselves here. Shelby, we talked about the Elise. The pick itself is fine for him. Maybe the build, not so crash hot there in that particular game, but we'll see what Avant want to do here. Malaz, again, going to go back through the champion alphabet.
Yeah, now the pick of Elise is fine. It was just the early game that really put him behind. I feel like if he plays it again, just needs to be a little bit more careful with his vision, working around different areas of the map and just all around. Just playing a little bit more carefully.
Yeah, Graves is up as well, so Shelby could take that if he wanted to, but he is going to lock in Elise one more time, and Trundle actually the pick there, so it could be Malai's champion, but could just as well be a support as well.
Yeah, definitely could be a support. I feel like it should be more inclined towards that support role. I think as much as Malaz would do work on the Trundle, it's not really something that he'd want to be. Especially after that Game 1 defeat in the hands of Fiora vs Jax, a matchup where he could have done quite well, but it came down to a mechanics battle. I think he wants to take it to Swiper again.
Yep, I think so as well. So we'll see what he does end up with as Chiefs now considering picks 2 and 3 for themselves. There's plenty open that they had last game. Spooks might be changing to a different AD carry jungle. I haven't seen any Kindred, I don't think, just yet in the OPL. And there it is, Kindred Thresh. I like the Thresh there from Medium once again, but Spooks, this is something different.
Yeah, so they've picked up the Kindred. That is interesting to me. I feel like they've still kept it along the lines of the AD carry jungler, but Kindred in particular, not as healthy as Graves. Invades a little bit more delicate as you have a lot less health when you're clearing your own jungle in particular, so a lot more dangers now for the Chiefs, but once they start to ramp up a little bit, you get your first buy-in for the Kindred, things start to ramp up for you.
Yeah, and definitely decent gank support there as well. Zavant going to consider their next few champions now as well. Picks 3 and 4 to make now. You think they have to be thinking, yep, don't give ready Kalista, they will take it.
Yeah.
And there's Nautilus as well. That might be for Malaz. If you're looking down some AD carries, that's a pretty good champion to have.
Yeah, absolutely is. And I mean, realistically, at this stage, Nautilus would be good against the Corki. Pretty good against the Kindred as well. The two champions that can take a lot of damage. My big question mark in this particular draft is, can Destiny actually play Kalista?
Yeah.
We know he can play Lucian. We know he's got a couple of good champions in that back pocket, the Ezreal and the Corki. But Kalista's another ballgame entirely.
Yeah, and again, Destiny's new to the role, I guess. Like, he played a little bit in the first half of last year, I believe, but has been a support, really, for most of his OPL career. Now swapping back to AD carries, a very tough opponent here in Radier. I agree, that's a very fair question to ask here. As Chiefs have finished their draft, Fiora and Victor are their final picks here, which does leave Radier on that Corki.
It does indeed. So Raiders pick the Corki up, and the Victor blind is the option here for Cheese. I saw no issue with the Ahri. In fact, I welcomed the Ahri for their pick potential. Worked quite nicely with that of the Thresh, but Chiefs have changed up their strategy here a little bit more, so feels like more team fighting.
Yeah, it's interesting to see them actually change quite a bit here. I mean, swipe it back on Fiora for a second game is sort of curious here, but I think he knows that it's probably Nautilus top at this point, as we are going to get wrecked once again picking his LeBlanc. Matchup's probably fine for him up against that Victor, but it seems that Malaz is going to be with that tank top laner, so Swiper more than happy with the Fiora, although right now, haven't changed it just yet.
No, and I saw the Malphite hover there for a second
Yeah.
too, and I realized that Kindred's pretty good into that. Pretty good against the Wombo engage.
Yeah.
And kind of prevents the ARAM from being broken by prolonging the ARAM, by just staying in that middle
ARAM
lane, dropping
forever.
down the Lamb's Respite. Yeah. And I think that this particular draft from Avant, they've got a Burst Mage in the middle lane, and that's actually really good into Kindred, because if you can even force the ultimate to be popped just from a random skirmish, pretty long cooldown.
Yeah, and sometimes Kindred players think, oh, I'm safe, and then you die.
Yep.
And you don't use your ulti, which is always embarrassing. But looks like Avant, I don't know what they're sticking with here. Malaz currently has the Trundle. We'll wait until the game loads in to try and find out here, but the Chiefs pretty much sticking to what they know here. Victor's an interesting change, definitely a different flavor of champion compared to Ahri, but it's funny that they, made the joke about Mediterranean cheese, maybe a bit more like Swiffer. Victor definitely a champion. Swiffer knows his way around.
Absolutely is, and of course, you should probably just make Spawn look like Swiffer. at
There
this
you go.
stage, though.
That's it. That's what we haven't done
I
yet.
feel like that's the competition winner right there.
Leonidas Spawn.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see if that happens, but we also have a game to get to here. Don't forget your hashtags for the hashtag CHFWin if you're cheering for the Chiefs to take the sweep, or if you want to advance to Forza game number 3, get on the hashtag AVWin. Don't forget to use the hashtag IamOPL for, once again, all your OPL and beard-related needs.
And of course, Chiefs, on the back of a loss to Direwolves, have now come into this guns blazing and taken out Avant in the first game. Still questions of jitters that had to be arisen. Feels like they're not there, and can the Chiefs actually continue this upward trend?
Well, we'll have to see. They certainly wanted to bounce back. We heard it from Swiper when he was here on the desk earlier. Things look good after game number 1, but again, changes here from the Chiefs, and I do like that they're mixing things up a bit as we are out onto Summoner's Rift for the second time in this series, our 5th time overall in the evening. It's been 2 great best of 3s so far, but the Chiefs, they would love to bounce back after they lost last week with a 2-0 here, if they can get it. But Avant, of course, we're going to look to try and take this game and force that third. And changes here across the board, I think. Spooks again, we talked about him maybe needing to step up a bit. Graves in game 1, Kindred in game 2. It's a changed jungler in many ways.
It absolutely is. Spooks looking entirely different. I'm going to say all around a lot less exploitable. Welcome for that one, Spooks.
He'll enjoy that for sure. Just like Will enjoyed more Spawn beard photos.
Yeah. Of course, yes, he is looking quite good at the moment. There you go.
Yeah, you can see Hellion celebrating their win with some pizza. The pizza is fun here. Apparently the motivation worked out. Thank you. So good to see Hellions are powered by pizza. Also, quick to note, that dog is adorable.
The King Charles.
He's so cute.
They are good dogs.
Please take that away.
Of course, there's other things that need to be looked at here for Avant and for Chiefs. First things first, how will the Kindred perform, essentially?
Yep.
Will Spooks actually do well on this new champion to the OPL? Something we're yet to see from a lot of the OPL players. And secondly, do Avant want this 2v2?
Well, right now, they're on the same side of the map, so I'm going to say yes to start things off here. It looks like standard lanes will be just that here. As Destiny does pop out a Sentinel, are going to start the Grand Prix. Krog start, of course, for the Chief Duo. And we are going to settle back into normalcy. I guess my next question has to be for Spooks here. He did something a little cheesy, you can say there in game game number 1 on the Graves. Don't think he can do that here on the Kindred, but Kindred also likes to invade.
Kindred definitely is a fan of fighting people. I just worry that Spooks may not have enough health to speak of if he were to attempt it. He already used both of his refillable potions, and eventually that W ends, and a lot of your health isn't there for you. So
I think we'll definitely see a little bit less aggression there as Wrecked. Actually, it's level 2. Nice and early. Going to get aggressive onto Cheese, who's still level 1.
Must have missed a minion.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because it's a single wave and 1 melee minion, and then you're level 2.
Oh, good hook there on top. Ejim actually, but level 2 is going to get pinged. Blind Turkey going to get turned around on the exhaust is down. Heel popped as well. Radier trying to cut it out and do the damage. Destiny, though, all of the spears, and that's going to force Radier's flash.
And it feels like the repeat offenders in that first game when Raider and Ejim were playing Callista and Thresh has now come back to bite them. The Nautilus is like the makeshift Thresh in this bottom lane. Still has that hook and very strong amounts of damage. And they come up ahead in that level 2 fight.
Trading with Callista early, always dangerous. But Ejim and Radier love to win at level 2. They always all in. And that costs them there in that particular point. Quick summon to check. Looks like Destiny held his heal. Both supports use their summoners, and Raider has no flash. So summoners up now for Avant's bottom lane. We'll see if they can continue applying pressure here to the bottom side.
2 summoners ahead and a big health advantage as well. Destiny didn't use his potion, and Raider did. Honestly, zoning himself at the moment out of necessity. The minions will push. The question is, how many will he lose before that?
Well, that cannon is on precariously low health at this point. It's Kindred's Wolf. Actually, I think was in the area, but Shell be able to take the scuttle. As we move back to mid lane, Cheese much healthier now. Probably feeling just fine at this point.
Yeah, another Abyssal lane as well. From potentially both of these guys. LeBlanc also been prone towards that field, weirdly enough.
Good hook. Damage on the Blind Turkey, but Phosphorus Bomb not there. Radier just going to take what poke he can. Levant continuing to shove into this bottom side. Nice little arrow there. Good rend. Up from Destiny there for a bit of poke onto Ejim. You can see Spooks, he was hanging out bottom side. He's cleared his jungle. He'll go back. Picks up the Skirmisher Saber. We'll see if he wants to get aggressive or keep farming up.
I feel like Spooks doesn't necessarily need to be aggressive at the moment. Shelby's had a lot better of a start in this jungle. And, I mean, mid lane's going to be happy. Bottom lane is something worth considering, but they still have their flash summoners available, and Kindred's ganking would be nice if there was no flashes, to say the least. So I'd honestly just look to counter jungle Shelby, or to counter gank, most importantly, Shelby.
Well, Ejim hooked again, though. Now in trouble as he's got nothing left. First blood does go to Destiny and Radier. Maybe going to get locked down there as well. It's just that easy.
It really is. Whenever a hook connects, it sets the Kindred, the Callista up rather, for that free auto attack damage with the passive. And just from there, you've honestly already out-traded them. Nautilus never going to die. Ejim gets hooked. Follows in with that. It's just so simple. Knowing there's no heal available for Raider, they were free to win that 2v2, and effectively so Avant-Garde do.
Yep, and 10 CS up now for Destiny. Seems like it's maybe not so much the players in the early stages rather than Callista. Been doing a lot of good stuff in the start of both these games. Shelby looked mid lane, does repel him, but Cheese just playing nice and back here on the Victor, keeping up in CS as Spooks now looks top lane. Might be a jungle invade. Maybe going to try and get some poke down onto Malaz.
You would wager the jungle invade unless Malaz just decides to have a big fight, which he is. I think that, like, realistically, Shelby was just helping Wrecked recall because of the pressure that Cheese has been putting down.
And here's actually the gank. They're going to move in onto Malaz. Cripple is down. Spooks moves in for it. The proc is there, and Spooks actually gets the kill. Now ulti out from Cheese's Ejim's roam mid. That's going to pop the passive and get the Elise low.
Yeah. Chelby and Rex stayed in this middle lane together, didn't recall, and then they get bursted out. But most importantly, this top lane, Spooks turns on the aggression. He finds himself an easy first kill into Malaz, who didn't even flash.
Yep, I guess wanted to save the spell there, but we'll give the kill over to the jungler as Chelby low in his own jungle. Thankfully no Kindred nearby just for now, but Spooks double longsword looking for that warrior enchant early onto the Kindred. And make no mistake, Kindred's early damage. She's a jungle AD carry. She is real good in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, Kindred's damage is no joke. That is for sure. And especially with a 1-0 start, has the challenging smite. Can pretty much take on anyone across the entire map right now. The biggest concern for the Chiefs is honestly this bottom lane.
Which is very strange to say
Yeah.
when it comes to Radier and Ejim, but Radier is keeping the lane back a bit more. Destiny now going to start pushing it back in again.
It's just blind turkey on hook champions. That's
Yeah.
what it is. The
You know,
Thresh, the Nautilus.
Yeah, take my Thresh. Okay, I guess I need a different hook champion. As Spook's going to pick up, I think, his first stack of the game. Didn't quite see if the mark was there. I think, yep, did pick up a mark there. So Kindred passive starting to stack. Yep, pretty sure I saw the icon. A little hard to see as Ejim moves in for it. Misses the flash hook. Does play blind turkey, but he's just going to get aggressed on now. Spooks is here. Destiny will take a bit of damage. Spooks comes back in, looks for the hunt onto blind turkey, but does not complete it. And Ejim honestly just flubbed that.
The flash hook from Ejim does not connect. They do well to trade, and honestly, they can continue to push this turret right now. They've got the advantage, at the very least in health. Not an easy tower to hold, but Chelby now with the onus to gank.
Got Kindred ulti as well. Rek gonna dive in. Chain will land. She's gonna get locked down. Gravity Field's nice, but the Cocoon will land in. Rek is done, but Chelby's gonna follow in. Ult is down, but Rek's gonna take it out as back in bottom side. Ejim, Destiny, Radier, and Turkey all going at it again, and Ejim, he's just a little too low, but he's not gonna die. Blind Turkey, look for the Riptide. Doesn't find it. Radier flashes forward, and Destiny takes him out, and now Turkey's gonna flash for the second kill.
And a 2v2 in the bottom lane sees a Vant Guard come up ahead and beat out Radier and Ejim, something you'd never expect yourself to say. And funnily enough, the reason that kill on Radier even happened is because he flashed into the Callista Spear. Super low here is Destiny, kites around as best he can, and we're coming back to a bit of a biff.
Yeah, looks like we had to cut off shortly there as we did get to see the start of that little exchange. That Swiper burnt the ulti onto Malaz. Starting to get aggressive here. You can see Swiper once again feels pretty comfortable on this champion. And Malaz, who still needs to scale up a bit, does have his Sheen. Nice riposte there though. No ulti left from him, but the Vitals are proccing, and Malaz just can't afford to take these trades.
Having no ultimates between the two of them kind of makes it easier, you would have to say, for Malaz to kind of just sit there and hit him. Just deal with it. Eventually you'll hit minions, get 30 health back roughly with each minion kill as well. And start to outlast Swiper, who only has the Tiamat.
Radier with the package now though. Let's have a Sheen with Destiny 2-0-1 and a CS lead. Phenomenal play is another bit. I believe that one is War. Oh my god.
Wow.
Back in the mid lane, wrecked in a bit of trouble. Spook's there to save Cheese. But most importantly, that is Warring Kingdoms Nidalee hair made into a beard for Spawn.
Bonus
carry
points.
on. Bonus points for you.
It's Spawn's favorite skin, so credit for that one. Utilizing his favorite skin against him.
Yep.
That's so good.
Spooks now taking out the Scuttle Crab.
Cannot
Does
unsee.
get himself another mark. So Kindred's starting to stack up here. Destiny getting poked. Radier though still playing too aggressive, it feels like.
I don't know if the answer's too aggressive just yet. No Blade of the Ruin King finished for Destiny on this Callista. The lifesteal that comes from a Cutlass is nice, but it's not a crazy overwhelming amount. And if you can poke them out, What? The hook's
Oh,
on.
it still lands in. Face
What?
call used. They go back in for the double. Depth charge onto Raider, and he's dead there. Blind Turkey gets it, and Egypt looking to get dived here potentially. They will have to pull out of it, but AV's bottom lane.
That even felt like oh, hello, top lane.
Yeah, top lane 2v2 there. Spook's getting low already. Does pop the lance respite. Shelby will come back down there, and the heel's about to proc in. Spooks will flash out, but Shelby will venomous bite forward for it. And now Swiper out of mana as Avant win another skirmish, this time top lane.
And this is just disaster for the Chiefs. A 3k gold advantage forming for Avant through laning phase. Raider didn't take the Lantern. Raider used his Valkyrie. And even from what looked like a misplay Avant mechanically, he's cancelled 2 auto attacks, Blind Turkey. But it doesn't matter because Raider is locked down for so long from just the knock-up combo of the Nautilus Ultimate and Callista Ultimate.
Such good stuff there. I think Fate's Call even dodged the incoming hook and then got the re-knock up there on both of them. So excellent play from Avant's bottom lane. And it's funny, we expected the solo laners maybe to pick up a bit more of the slack, but maybe Destiny and Turkey hurt us because they are picking up so much right now. Going to have big arms by the end of this game. That is some heavy lifting as Avant going to take the Rift Herald up as well. They are 3,000 gold ahead. 12 minutes into the game, 6-1 up in kills.
Yeah, and it feels like we're looking at Destiny to be this primary carry, which is something we were looking at as matchups between these two teams. Raider Regim, you always said, look, Avant's bottom lane is probably their biggest point of power. The lane that has most consistently actually carried for them so far in the OPL. But if you compare that to the bottom lane of the Chiefs, like, oh, they have no chance. But here we are. They're putting on a clinic in game 2.
Looking real strong here to try and tie it all up for a third. As Spooks has been nice and proactive around the map. Hasn't quite converted any other jungle pressure after a successful gank in the top side. Swiper though as well. 10 CS up. Iceborne Gauntlet done for Malaz, but Ravenous Hydra on the way. His hook does land. Spooks is down here. Blind Turkey could be in trouble. Fate's Call is there though. Blind Turkey going to get pulled out to safety, and they're going to go back in for it. Spooks and Egypt knocked up there. The box is down. Destiny taking a little too much poke from Malaz. Now going to try and cut them off at the pass.
Wrecked is in.
Swiper also coming down as well. This is precarious for the Chiefs. Raiders health bar real low. Cheese cut off there as well. Ivana 4v5 right now, but the tower just keeps the Chiefs safe.
Avant do have the numbers advantage, but you're right. They're just going to go for the easy objective in this dragon and reset. Nautilus didn't have that ultimate available or just did not use it. And Destiny, of course, using his own to re-engage for the team. And just like that, a skirmish breaks out and Avant still managed to pressure the Chiefs off.
And Shelby will successfully take the dragon away for himself. He's able to get it. And the advantage is still starting to pile in here for Avant. Almost 4k up now in this particular game. Raider Regim's tower is even under threat at this point. The blade is done for Destiny as well. Seems like he's not going to slow down anytime soon as Rex back in again. Nice chamber. Here comes Spooks. The ulti's nice from Cheese. But Rek will flash out.
The ult is good from Cheese to be able to force a single... Oh, that hook!
That hook was sick there. Death charge on the Radiant. They'll dive in for a Blind Turkey. Looking to go down, but the Titan's Wrath going to keep him alive. He barely dies off the Ember. Destiny getting aggressive. 1v1 double kill.
Destiny and Blind Turkey are stepping up beyond belief right now for Avant. What a performance from these two in the bottom lane. The hard part's translating this past laning phase for this bottom lane, but so far, so good. That confidence is to be admired.
Certainly must be. Avant bouncing back hard here in game number 2. As Spooks top lane again, looking to mark up Malaz. Swiper and Spooks should be able to take this tower. Malaz going to get zoned off here with just the gauntlet. He's pretty squishy still.
And the only reason Blind Turkey died in that last fight in the bottom is because there was no Fate's Call available for Callista. Could have pulled him out much more easily. Simple work.
Oh my god, there we go. That's Rusty Spawn, I think, or Double Spawn.
That is me on Spawn's body with a beard that is not mine. And is that Havoc as well? Let's just go with it.
Maybe.
I feel like that'd be the triple threat.
Aussieception.
I'll give you that one, Jesus.
Well, looking good there. Another excellent entry. That's actually a little weird.
That just feels weird seeing my own face with a beard, let alone on Spawn's body.
Well, we'll move on as Destiny in trouble in top side. Swiper going to dive in for him. Destiny not sure if he can get out of this one. Does get shut down. And now Blind Turkey hooked up. They'll keep chasing through. Nautilus, Spider will proc, Play back in there as well. Lamb's Rust by Pop. Chelby wanted the assassination on the Spooks, but they'll keep themselves in the area. Chelby's going to go back over. He does get the kill, and now Wrecked, not to swipe, it just cleans him off the rift. Cheese is here, though, trying to answer Wrecked. Can't juke everything, but he will be able to get out.
And Shelby's kind of on the wrong side of the map right now. Needs to run away. But Avant, they work around not even having Destiny who goes down at the start. And they still manage to come up with at least an even trade.
Yeah, nice play there from Avant, although Blind Turkey and Destiny, one of the first mishaps we've really seen. Just a little too far forward here in top lane.
Yeah, completely caught out of position. Didn't have Blind Turkey with him. And honestly overstayed his welcome there. Gets caught out with the Fiora ultimate, chase him down. But Shelby, he actually does quite well to consolidate this kill. Flashes over the wall. And then Rex comes in and just bursts Swiper's health bar into non-existence. And even from an Abyssal Scepter LeBlanc, the damage is unreal.
Yeah, Rex, noted LeBlanc player, of course, was a solo queue talent before he got picked up by Avant here. We wanted to see him really go off, and LeBlanc is his type of champion when he gets snowballing. 2-0-0-4 for LeBlanc. 4-1-3 for Destiny, and 2-0-4 there for Shelby. It feels like the Avant carries are firing.
They absolutely are. But that's the funny thing. The Avant carries are firing. Which one?
Well,
Because we never know.
We don't, but it seems like 3 carries working out this time for Avant, with Rex maybe going, Malaz maybe going for a bit more of a tanky build here. Avant will take the Rift Tower for themselves. We'll see who that one goes to, but always nice to pick it up. Bit of extra gold. Nice buff there. Destiny picks it up and gets the buff for himself. And Avant continue applying pressure. Still 2 towers up to nothing. And that gold lead's been growing, honestly, still 5k up now, 17.5 minutes in.
And this is the interesting point in the game. Do you break open this middle lane against the Victor? And if so, how? Because he has wave clear and a blue buff. You've got a Callista Nautilus who's very good at 2v2ing. They've got good skirmishing. Even their team fighting is commendable.
Well, Swiper going in for Malaz does immediately go in for the grand challenge. Spooks here as well, though. And there should be trouble for Malaz. He does splash, but I'm not sure he's got quite enough here.
Swiper's dead.
He's going to die, but that's too far. He is dead. Can't reverse the tower hit.
Swiper was just so over-aggressive. Trundle can just press R and absolutely take you down for that. Spooks is here. Teleporting everywhere. Running super fast. Doing enough damage. And Swiper just gets munched from a single Q.
And now again onto it. They actually went for Egypt, and a nice hook is Shelby! Radiant dissolves as Avant find another pick.
That was absolute evaporation just there of the AD carry from the Chiefs. Not only is Swiper feeling desperate and accidentally dying in this bottom lane when receiving a gank, it gives Avantgarde enough time to push in.
And you know what? The Avant answer to how do we beat the wave clear mid laner? Don't go mid lane! Smash down the top. They might get it in him in less than 20 minutes.
This is one of the fastest games I think we have seen in the OPL, especially in a Chiefs game. That just felt so easy to do here for Avant. This is a polar opposite team to a game 1.
Yes! And Avant, we kind of felt this in their series last week, where the games they won and the games they lost look vastly different.
Yeah.
This is definitely a vastly different game.
Yes. Yeah, it really is. And like the thing is, right, they do have carries in every single role. And we said this even pre-series. Who carries? Who steps up and really shows up for their team? Usually it's Destiny. Usually Destiny and Turkey come together and piece together a really good team fight for them. But if every single lane is firing, then absolutely they can do this to the best teams.
And Shelby's been playing great, but I have to say Spooks also had a good game here on the Kindred, but hard to stop what's been happening from the jungle position as Avant are going to move in for Dragon number 2. I was going to say I'm surprised that it's only the second one, but we're still less than 20 minutes into this game. Avant is 7,000 gold ahead, and there is no inhibitor in Chief's top lane.
Yeah, Malaz is just going to be able to leave that lane after he pushes those minions in. Even work towards mid. Ensure that Victor hangs around, or even just group with the team bottom because he's got armor stacked everywhere. Honestly, there's now just options for Avant that weren't going to be there beforehand. I feel like Malaz is the kind of player that'll just stay top anyway, just quietly.
Yeah.
And just like Let's try and fight Swiper anyway.
Tank Trundle. Dead Man's Plate, Iceborne Gauntlet, no Hydra. Not going for any sort of massive carry build.
And Hydra's usually the split push item that you'd see, but instead just wants to live, wants to survive all of the damage the Swiper was outputting. And now just troll cheese.
I mean, opening up space in the mid, actually going to force a flash there. Pops the ulti, but doesn't run in for it. Avant looking to take the tower. Shelby hits a hook. He is going to go down. A shutdown comes out there from Spooks with a bit of help from Victor.
Yeah, that was just greedy pathing from this Avant-Garde side. They are going to get that mid lane turret, and you'll still have to say that it's worth it. But a needless death.
Yep, and that's what Avant can't afford here in this game. They have such a massive lead here in this game. And they can tell, can't get ahead of yourself.
And this is just so interesting to me because the Chiefs, when they win now, they're winning slowly. They're methodically playing the games out. The later the game goes, the happier the Chiefs will evidently be. But beating the Chiefs just feels a lot more simple, something that was never possible.
Yeah, and I will say in general, especially for Avant, again, the games I've seen them win are very fast-paced.
Yeah.
Because again, they have so many carries. When the team's all firing, it feels like they go at package speed, really. Zooming around the map there. As Avant is going to start this Baron and force Cheese into a very, almost impossible choice.
Yeah, Malaz is just going to be a super tank, as is Blind Turkey with that Nautilus. So these guys should be able to take the Baron down completely uncontested. And with this power play, find a lot of dangerous options here for the Chiefs. None of them good.
And look at Rack, dives in onto Cheese, just goes straight aggressive, gets hooked out of it. And killed by Victor again, but the death charge is in. Shelby looking to lock something down, finds Agent for the target, but the Lantern might just get Cheese out to safety. Repel is going to come in as Spooks, looking to turn things around. The Chiefs play that very nicely. Shelby eats the rocket on the back and goes down. Malaz now going to get hooked and challenged up by Fiora, but Avant, they will kite out safely.
I have no idea what Rekt was doing. We praised him in that first game for performing so well when losing, but when ahead he just feels reckless. He's an assassin player. But he's not able to survive the burst that the Chiefs still have. You have to remember their team composition still has damage. And they hold the fort one more time. Just impatient play from this AV side.
Very, as Rack picks up his first death of the series with that one. Ejim just nailed him here.
Absolutely nailed him. The chains, the combo from Rekt was very slow, and he had the option to go back to his distortion before it all breaks out. Shelby didn't opt into going to Cheese. Instead, thought he could get out with his life. They popped the heal from Destiny as well to keep him there, but he goes down.
Well, Avant, though, back on the offensive. Still have some Baron on a few of their members. Have pretty good duration on the buff left as well. About half of it left. Spooks barely misses getting a Nautilus hook to the face.
That's all they need to do. Just work around the Nautilus hook, work around the cocoon from Shelby, and only when they connect, go in.
Well, you can see Avant going to start working down some of these towers. 6 turrets to 0 now. Sorry, to 1. As Blind Turkey eats a hook from Ejim. Good catch there from the Chiefs. Blind Turkey, Fate's called out though. Kalista ulti always there to save you.
But it just keeps happening. Stop positioning aggressively. Keep your health bars and just work around the map. This is such a big lead for Avant. It feels like at every moment the Chiefs are finding potential picks.
Yeah, and it's nice to see the Chiefs playing well from behind, and they are very far behind in this game. But Avant, they need to keep their composure. They've built themselves such a strong lead here in this game, and the pace at which they've done so is to be admired, but you still need to end the game. And Top Inhibitor is back up. Swiper busy cleaning up the last of their super minions. As that is the Wise Wizard's Rusty in spawn from Lady Tess.
Oh!
What's better than 1 spawn, Rusty? 2 spawns. What's better than 1 bearded spawn? 2 spawns with a beard.
I feel like it's just Spawn and Rusty with beards this time though.
Okay.
Let's be fair, I'm not Spawn.
Okay.
It's okay. Just because he hasn't got a beard does not make me him again.
Hey. That wasn't me. I didn't say
oh,
that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. All good. All good.
Savant continue to apply some pressure. Spooks does clear out the Raptor camp. And we do have some items here over on the Chiefs, but the Avant lineup is a little too far ahead at this point still. Radius still not with item number 2, and his build is expensive. in this game.
Yeah.
But Avant, again, they still need to keep the pressure up. They've got top open. They have so many options about where they can go to end the game, but they do need to end the game.
Yeah, the fact they've broken the base in the top lane is a big deal here for Avant. They can actually push towards that inhibitor, at least split push towards that inhibitor. And even if they get a single pick, they can rotate there and try and force it down. The hard part's the rest of the map, because again, they've got Cheese on this Victor. He has a lot of wave clear. Raider on Corki as well. Will have plenty of wave clear of his own. It feels like Avant, they're playing it slow now.
Yep, they're going to just take the dragon, consolidate their objectives. No need to rush things. I think it may be recognized they played a little too aggressive in spots. Toby, though, just going to safely take down this dragon as the rest of his team's going to move back to assault that top open inhibitor. And Rex doesn't have a death cap just yet, but he still does plenty of damage. Hiding in brushes, seeing if anybody walks by as Shelby does finally get himself the dragon.
That was cute from Avant, though. Shelby soloing the dragon means that if Chiefs assume they're there, they might start to push out topside. They only have Malaz show himself, and they sit in bushes and try and find a cheeky pick. Don't get it, but it's a very good idea.
Yeah, we've seen the picks be so good here from Avant. They've got
Look at
plenty of ways to lock people down.
The aggression hasn't stopped from the Chiefs. They're warding aggressively. They're looking for picks with thresh hooks, and they want to burst anyone that gets hooked and stop these pushes from happening. Destiny's positioning quite forward, so need to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, no QSS yet, actually. It has the Bloodthirster instead, so extra special careful there. As Rex is going to jump in for it. It's a huge crit from Radier, though. Now Malaz going to get jumped on. Shelby wants it. Blind Turkey going in, though. Knockups are there. Damage is massive there. As they just got so much AoE, but the Chiefs still not quite going down. Swiper barely lives as Rex wants to chase him. He will
Good
get
hook.
it on the end of it. But Destiny still firing away from the back lines. Avant are going to get one kill and reclaim top inhib.
And they only get one kill. That looked so good for Avant. They hit the knock-up combos. More than one connect at once. Rek does get the kill onto Swiper, who overextended looking for the kill onto Destiny. And somehow, they basically all live.
Well, Avant will get what they want and not overstay their welcome this time around. Just time to back off instead. Baron not quite up for a few minutes, so maybe bot or mid are the next places they can look to break. But Avant know that Baron will be coming back up. They've got Dragon potentially coming as well if they need to go that late.
It's also a very aggressive, almost greedy item build out of Destiny on this Kalista. Didn't work towards the QSS. Went straight for the pickaxe, and he's against the Thresh Fiora, most importantly, even the gravitational field. I feel like there's things that he can QSS, and they also do a lot of magic damage.
Yeah, I mean, one of the few ways he could die here is eating a random Thresh hook. Edium's been on point with the hooks.
But it's confidence in his team. He's positioning quite back now. Defensively, he knows that Blind Turkey at least will be in front of him. Chelby's playing hyper aggressive, working towards the Zonias himself.
Yep, full AP there, still for Shelby. But I think in this game it makes a little bit more sense, especially with how aggressively he was able to play. Swiper, though, looking to clean things up here on the bottom side. Chiefs looking for turret number 2 of the game. And they've actually kept the gold lead a little further back. Avant, they are going to claim this Baron.
Yeah, this is the real danger point for Chiefs once again. Once the Baron's there, wave clear kind of goes out the window and pressure just starts to amass. After they get their recalls in, we'll see what lane Avant choose to attack. And if Wrecked kind of goes in recklessly again. You know,
No.
I don't think he will.
I don't think so
Just
either.
quietly.
Got his death cap up now as well. Almost level 16, so strength coming still for Avant. But the Chiefs, like I mentioned, they've actually lowered the gold lead a little bit.
Yeah.
It was close to 10k. We hit 9 at one point. We're still at 8, which is still a massive lead there for Avant. But I don't think they ever got to over the 10k mark. And usually for me, that's the sign that a team is pushing in to end the game.
Interesting, again, I want to touch back on the item build from Destiny. There's no armor on the enemy side. None. Last Whisper gives bonus armor penetration. 35% of the armor that they don't have is 0. So
Yep.
what he should have done is gone for the Giant Slayer aspect of it so that he does percentage of their health instead of going for the Last Whisper and then work towards it afterwards.
Well, Could have also been a Mercurial, which he didn't buy either with
Yes.
the pickaxe, so I agree. Some different parts here perhaps for Destiny, but still doing plenty of damage here. Zonius is finished for Chelby also, and Rect even working towards the Void Staff. So Avant have all the things they need to try and win the game, and the Chiefs are just waiting in a bush to see what happens.
Oh, still pretty close on Wrecked. Could have changed the pace of this as here we go.
Yeah, damage there for Destiny, you can see, chunking out that turret massively with the help of the Baron up minions. That's going to force Swiper's going to eat a cocoon. And Fate's Call's there. Great riposte from Swiper. Blind Turkey just stands there looking a bit silly, but Radier gets hugely chunked by the two APs, and Egypt's now going to get locked down. Challenge area for Swiper. They're going to try and keep moving it in. Egypt, though, is going to go down to Chelby. Cheese on the front line melts as well, and Avant get the 2 kills they want.
Avant, they've got the pick, they've got the Baron buff, and the top lane super minions are crashing onto the Nexus turrets. There's not a lot left for the Chiefs to do.
And Malaz zoning out Radier there as well. He's going to force him back to his fountain. Shelby pops the Zonyas as the tower will force Swiper trying to fight in the backside, but he's going to die as well. Shelby will finally go down, but Spooks will get chased down. Radier, the only one left alive, is Avant. Win game 2 and force a 6th and final game of the night.
A crazy, crazy game from Avant-Garde as they just turn on the aggression. That is a different side from game 1, and the Chiefs did not have a response.
No, and in all places, it's the bottom lane where that came from.
Which is the weirdest thing to consider. Raider and Egypt getting solo killed on more than one occasion. Well done to the bot lane of AV.
Well, we're in a bit of a different world now. We are going to have a game 3, but before that, let's break down that second game.
Thank you so much, Pastry Time and Rusty. That was a very impressive performance from Avant-Garde, hitting back in their second game, able to pick up the win. And you know, I'm a fair and gentle host, so I don't normally call people out. However, Carbon, I remember I asked you, in a 2v2 situation, can Avant-Garde step up? And I don't quite recall your response.
Yeah, I said nullify the lane, maybe swap, just get the heck out of dodge. And wow, what a performance.
So I actually want to bring up a replay of exactly that, Avant-Garde nullifying this lane. And I just want you to take us through this one, Carvin. Let us know what your thoughts are.
I mean, this was honestly unreal. When I saw this the first time, I lost my mind. Can we just roll this? The hook Fate's Call combo is just so well timed. Pulls him out of the way of the hook, straight away back in. I mean, they've clearly practiced this. That was unbelievable execution there. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, I certainly am impressed as well, of course. That's just a little bit of facetiousness coming out of me. No one, I don't think, would expect rookie support, and what is a rookie AD carry? He played a split, but let's be realistic, played the split as support, to be able to come into a lane against two multiple international stars like Radier and Ejim and be able to solo kill them. There was a point in that game where they were both 0-2. Want to throw the question open now. The support cast of Avant in that game stepped up hugely. How do you bounce back? What's the mindset right now?
Look, I don't even know, man, but I just want to admit a fault as well, because I said that, Chelby's known to be able to bounce back. I didn't quite understand that the entirety of Avant were able to follow up with a loss that horrible in game number 1. Honestly, they were buying the tiers, there was definitely something on the side of Avant where they were like, okay, we got to get out of this game. What the heck can we do? That sort of rallying is ridiculous. That was so impressive, especially that bottom lane. But Shelby as well, 3-0-4 in the early game, complete transformation, same build.
Yeah, I did say it before the broadcast that I did think AV could take a game, though I wasn't confident enough to actually give them one in my prediction. Look, we asked Blind Turkey to step up. We asked Shelby to step up. Shelby found the solution to not dying, and that's apparently getting a Zonyas. We saw that at the end. So very impressive by him. But look, honestly, I want to give Blind Turkey massive props for that game. Picked a somewhat unconventional support. We don't see Nautilus played all that often anymore, but played it to just an awesome level.
Yeah, and then there's also Destiny, who we questioned. We were like, hang on, does this guy even play Kalista? I mean, we saw the Corki, we saw the Lucian, we saw the Ezreal, sort of some mid-range, the spellcasty type 80 carries, that sort of thing. What else does he play? That Kalista was fantastic. And picking Kalista into Radiant Ejim as well, I mean, that takes some balls, man. This Avant side, not holding any punches.
Yeah, they certainly did step up, but on the opposite side of the rift, you now have to question the mental fortitude of the Chiefs. 2 games in a row that they've 2 sets in a row they've been forced to a game 3. Last time they weren't able to bounce back. We talked a lot about game 1, massive preparation, mid-series adjustment. Can they make it without their captain and shot caller? You're looking at the Chiefs now. What are you thinking?
I mean, we're seeing a lot of patterns here, aren't we? It's only been 2 games, to be fair, but in exactly the same fashion. First game, they have a plan, convincing win. Second game, they kind of just draft, not whatever they feel like, but just champions they're comfortable on, as opposed to having a team-wide comp, a team-wide goal. And I think what we found is that champions they're comfortable on just isn't good enough anymore. They have to have a plan.
Well, the thing that I want to pose the question of is when I saw that Chiefs lineup, I just thought to myself, if Ejim doesn't land a hook, where does it come from? And when I look down the line, you've got Fiora, you've got Kindred, you've got the likes of a Corky and a Victor, all very good standalone champions, but in a team comp together, it just didn't look like they were able to get the top fights they were looking for.
Yeah, they just didn't have any engage apart from that hook, right? So what do? Do they wait for Avant to come to them and then try and start something from that? It looked like this comp was sort of just like put together ragtag. It's like you said, they didn't necessarily have a plan. The thing that I'm worried about, right, is we're looking back to the 3-game series they had against Direwolves. Game number 3 didn't get any better for the Chiefs. They've really got to show us that they're prepared for this.
Yeah, they certainly do. Well, they're going to have that opportunity because after a 3-minute break, we're going to have game 3 of the Chiefs versus Avantgarde. Don't go anywhere.